1 John 1:9. If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. No, don't gloss over. It's not the same verse you've heard every time. It's the crux of the gospel. This is the good news, is that God has made a way for us to be right with him if we just confess our sins. No, it's not like, oh, that one and that one and that one. It's just, God, I'm a sinner. I've fallen short. And now I'm made perfect. As I sat and reflected on that verse, faithful and just are the two words that stood out to me. Faithful, I get. Makes sense, right? Like, I'm faithful to my customers. I'm faithful to I'm showing up. I'm going to do what I said. Just is not one that I use often. And as I thought about it, that's where I realized the legal requirement that was fulfilled by Jesus. When Jesus died on the cross, remember what he said? He said a few things, but he said, God, why have you forsaken me? I believe he was yelling that out because it was completely unjust. God shouldn't have forsaken Jesus, right? He was perfect. He never sinned. There was so to be separated from God, to be separated from life was unjust. Yeah? And that's why he can now say, I'm faithful and just. There was a massive injustice created when Jesus died. The creator of the universe died on that cross, even though he was perfect, even though he had never done anything wrong. I know as we're sitting there, we're like, stuff happens. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Not in God's universe. It doesn't happen that perfect and flawless dies, not just physically, but dies in a separation from God. Why have you forsaken me, right? He's crying out. There's a massive injustice created in that whole event that happened. And God will not let that be fulfilled. He will not let injustice happen. And so now through this verse, he's saying, look, there's an injustice there. And that happened for you. There's now a door open. There's an unbalanced system in play here. And you just have to accept that. You just have to say, you know what? I am a sinner. I confess I'm flawed. And now I receive that perfect life that Jesus had for me. He allows that great exchange because he will not allow injustice to occur. Justice, if he was faithful and just without Jesus, we'd all be dead, not just physically, but spiritually as well. We'd all be separated from Christ because we have sinned and we've fallen short, right? That's all there is to it. And so through Jesus, there was an unbalanced injustice that will not be satisfied unless we swap places with him. That's the door that Jesus opened for us.